Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Startup Garage, your source for all things startup. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Jason Knickerbocker on the line, and he's the CEO over at BeWise. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, and thank you very much. Nice to have you.
Oh, man, so excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to go into BeWise. We're going to go into safety maps, which a lot of the people listening right now are probably thinking, what are safety maps? We're going into that. Why? Because Jason and his team created those, so this is going to be exciting. Just to kick it off, though, Jason, let's get into BeWise. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Awesome, will do. So I've been a police officer for about 20 years, and I also served as an infantry officer in the military for a short time. So I've always looked at the world through a different lens. And over the years, I've always noticed that there's nothing out there in terms of platforms or apps that can tell you if the area you're traveling to is safe or not, whether you're getting off the gas station, getting off the freeway to go to the gas station, or whether you're making travel plans. And so about a year ago, I started to put together a team of law enforcement experts, data scientists, and technology experts, and we've created BeWise.
Man, that's exciting. I'm really excited about the implications of this app and what it can mean. Let's just do a deep dive into the app. So tell us about user experience, how it's used. Let's go further there.
Yeah, sounds great. So basically, other companies have tried. So what makes us different is we have a layered approach. We curate the data, and we put together information down to the street level. And the way we're able to do that, not to give away too much of the secret, but essentially we use different data points all the way from crime data, gun violence data, and then we layer in user ratings. So if you're traveling to a large city, let's say Anaheim, for example, I always use that city as an example because everyone knows Disneyland is there. If you're traveling to Anaheim, Anaheim actually has a decently high crime rate. So if you're going to Disneyland and you want to make travel plans, it's not good enough to know how safe Anaheim is as a whole, but when you book a hotel, you want to be able to tell what the neighborhood surrounding the hotel is like. Or if you're in Anaheim, if you're going to go to dinner or grab gas, you want to be able to tell if the exit you're pulling off at is safe. And so by having a layered approach, using user ratings layered in with crime data, that's how we were able to successfully do it.
Let's go into the concept of safety maps because it's a new term for me, and I want to bring it to the audience because I think it's a really good approach. I love whoever titled that safety maps. I'm like, I want a safety map.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I think will make us successful. Is safety is everyone's basic fundamental need. It doesn't matter where you live, what culture you come from. Everyone wants to be safe, and quite frankly, everyone deserves to be safe. And so the safety map, we're not reinventing the wheel in terms of the map. We're going to use Google Maps, and we're going to layer our data on top of that. So when you're, going from point A to point B, or when you're looking at a restaurant or a gas station or a hotel, you pull up that map just like you usually do on Google Maps, and you kind of look at the neighborhood. You say, okay, there's a Starbucks here, or there's a gas station there. Well, we're going to have an overall color grid to the city. So basically very intuitive, just like any other map. Green is good all the way down to red is, not so good. And that's going to be the overall color of the city. And then on top of that, within the city, you're going to have little pinpoints, basically, of transparent other colors. So you can be traveling to a safe city. Let's say the safe city is green, but you're going to see some red and orange dots within that city. And you can be, on the contrary, you could be traveling to a dangerous city. And let's say that city is orange or red, where you're going to see green and yellow areas within that city. So it's all the way down to the street level, and you can kind of intuitively figure out, hey, this looks like a good hotel to stay at. And the reason that's going to be useful is you may book a 5-star hotel, but what if it's in a really bad neighborhood? Well, then you may want to pay for the 3-star hotel in a really good neighborhood, and that's where it's going to become useful and very utilitarian. And I think just like checking the weather, it's going to make travel different forever, quite frankly.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And that's it sounds like my head's kind of spinning on this one because it sounds like an enormous amount of data. How is as you kind of layer this, how's this going to start off? So this launch, is it going to be city by city, state by state? Tell us a little bit more about the overall launch, the plans.
Great. Sounds good. Yeah. So we're going to start in Los Angeles and Orange County because that's very densely populated, and there's a huge variance in safety of cities in both those counties. And so our initial launch, basically, once we've created a proprietary algorithm, and we're scraping data from different data points, and some of them are, the FBI and some other data sources as well. And what we've done is we've created an algorithm, but we didn't just look at the crime data. We hired data scientists, we hired law enforcement experts, and myself. We sat down at a table and we said, what kind of crime really does matter? Does it matter if there's arsons versus does it matter if your car gets stolen? And those things really do determine the safety of an area. So we looked at those numbers, we pulled out the actual crimes that really make a difference in terms of everyone's general safety. And by creating that algorithm, we're able to scrape data that it's free, it's out there already. Scrape all this data, create an overall rating for each city, and then on top of that, our users are going to rate areas just like when you rate Yelp or you do a Google review, and you're going to, drop a pin and basically say, hey, I stayed at this hotel, it was great, and, I've recommended it again, or vice versa, I stayed at this hotel, the hotel was 5 stars, but the area was really dangerous. I couldn't even walk to my car at night without getting, nervous. And so a lot of it's automated, a lot of it's digital, except for the user ratings that people are going to create.
Tell me a little bit more about the user ratings, because it kind of feels like to me like this is like almost like a Waze for the but for your safety. It's like because you're getting feedback from the people that are also the users. So tell me a little bit more about that. It's cool.
Yeah, great. So the thing about the user ratings is we wanted to make sure that we used factual data, not people's gut feelings. We wanted to use things that took away people's intrinsic biases. Right? We want to use quantitative stuff, simple questions like how was the lighting? How was the upkeep? Did you notice graffiti? Did you notice any possible gang activity? Things that, no matter what culture you come from, no matter where you grew up, you can kind of tell, hey, this building looks a little bit dangerous. The lights are broken. There's graffiti all over the place. So very basic questions. It's the same questions on a sliding scale. So whether you're traveling to New York City or Austin, Texas, or, Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's all the same questions, and we wanted to make sure that they were relevant to actual safety. And that's what makes us special, is we take a lot of there's other platforms out there that exist, and they kind of just let people freely contribute and they give their opinions, but not everybody's an expert. And so, I've dealt with other platforms before, and sometimes those things, it turns out, what really happened is not what people say happened on the platform. And so we don't give people that opportunity. It's just kind of basic questions, and by doing that, the average score will always be correct. And we'll make sure that we're accurate, reliable, relevant, and we'll also have current crime data because the information we scrape from existing data sources is usually updated either biannually or annually, but our user ratings will be updated all the time. So it's always going to be fresh data because the reality is some neighborhoods get better and some neighborhoods get worse. So we don't want you to travel to an area that used to be nice, but now it's really dangerous. Or maybe there's a really dangerous area and now it's really nice. And that's a positive thing we can infuse money into those neighborhoods that are, being gentrified to help bring up the economy. Because ultimately, if everyone can rise together, it will benefit everybody.
No, I love that, and it's a great concept. What's the timeline? So what's the timeline currently in terms of release, plans? Like, give us a feel for that, because I know at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave either website or social or wherever somebody should go to follow the progress of the app and what you're doing. What's the timeline on this?
Yeah, great. So we have a detailed launch plan. We're actually going to start populating our social media platforms very shortly within the next week or two. And then we're currently building the iOS version. That will be done in the fall of 2020. And as soon as that is done, we're going to hire a developer to build the Android native web app Google Play version of it. And that will be done by early 2021. So as soon as the iOS platform is done, we're going to launch fall 2020, and we're going to ask people to start populating areas because as a community together, we're going to share information. All this knowledge is out there. I can ask you, Adam, where the neighborhood you live in, hey, what's a good restaurant to go to? What's a good restaurant not to go to? And all that information is out there. So we're just going to ask people to share that fall of 2020, and the Android native web app version will be done early 2021.
Fantastic. And where can somebody go to follow the progress and to follow the app and to get it when it's ready?
Great. So you can go to our website. It's bewizeapp.com. That's bewizeapp.com. And you can also follow us on all the major social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at bewizeapp. That's bewizeapp.
Fantastic. Well, Jason, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background, all the great things you're doing over at Be Wise. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Startup Garage, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Jason, thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey, Adam, thanks for having me. You're awesome. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I really look forward to working with you in the future.